or you are waiting. As long the technical class is going on, so please attend. Okay, please attend to the classes because the topics I am not repeating everything every day, right? So the new topic will be there. Okay, so whether you are watching from YouTube or not, I don't mind, but things are going on. So if you are not at all interested to attend, for example, sir, tomorrow onwards I'm not able to attend. So I am with my process, it's joining formalities and all there. Put it in a group. Inform to sir or madam or Revan sir is there, no? So he's handling information. Put it in a group. So due to these reasons, I am not able to continue the technical session. So it is okay for me. For me, my personally, I am okay with that one. Okay. Okay. So I started recording, guys. Otherwise, what happened? I will wait for people like whether they are going to join, not join. Sometimes hesitate, like why we started. Only 5 people are there. It has happened earlier. That's all. Okay, guys. Um, okay, so last class we discussed about the basics of hardware components. It's a block diagram. We are giving input to the CPU. CPU process it and give the output on output devices like a monitor. CPU take the information or instruction from the memory and it is give that instructions. Okay, sometimes it will save some data or instruction into the memory. Okay, this is a standard block diagram and later we will realize it is not a correct diagram also. Okay, and another diagram I will give you also, so we'll try. Different components: CPU, RAM, ROM, motherboard, hard disk, or a solid state devices like SSDs, DVDs, CDs, SMPS, floppy disks, the cabinets. So these are the basically a desktop based computer components. The outer one is a cabinet. Inside a cabinet, we put a motherboard, and on motherboard we will connect it to all the devices. Okay. Keyboard, mouse, monitors, printers, scanners, touchpads, touch screens, mics, speakers, card readers, Bluetooth devices, external hard disk, and joysticks like a game controllers are connecting to our cabinets or outside device or a user accessing device. Directly, we are touching all these things. Okay, all these things we are touching directly. What are the components inside this cabinet? Inside these cabinets, we are not touching. Like you have a laptop. You have a laptop. You touch the keyboard, laptop keyboard, right? Laptop touch screen, touch pads, right? But you are not touching the what is the contents in the laptop. Okay. So we discussed about a CPU, how it is look like, and what are the things important for a CPU is about a speed, number of cores, These 3 points are added to this earlier point. Why? Because number of cores is new to the technology because up to 2000 time also number of cores technology is very less. So later only this number of core technology came like a multi-core technology. P4 is there earlier, so Pentium 4 and Pentium 4 Extreme, Pentium for hyperthreading. So later the dual core processor core to Geo, dual core processor, core to Geo processor, quad core processor. Okay, quad core processor. Then I series launched. i3, i5, i7, i9 processor is launched. Okay, so i3 is like a core to Geo processor type. So number of cores per a processor. Okay, number of threads are a logical processors. Process, I put a processor. Logical number of threads are a logical processor per processor, like a number of threads per processor. It means, for example, I have a processor. So my i5 processor is my old i5 processor. It is a 2-core processor. 2-core processor, 4 threads means each processor is further divided. Okay, further it will divide. So like it's a 2-core. Number of cores are 2. Number of threads are 4. Okay. Nowadays, different processor came like a 64-bit processor, 32-bit processor. Now 64-bit processors are there in the market completely. So obviously the 64 processor having a technology called a virtualization technology. Whether it is Intel processor or a AMD processor, please check the virtualization technology support or not. If it is there, then we can able to use the virtualization technique in the your computer. Very simple. And also compulsory check the cache memory of the processor. So cache memory, we can easily check it. Intel virtualization technology also, you can easily check it from here. Okay, when you are checking how to check the system configuration in for when you are checking about a CPU, so you will get that information. Not only a task manager, from other places also. So go through this. This is my processor model, and this is my processor speed. This is the base speed, socket, number of cores, number of logical processor. Virtualization is enabled. Virtualization is enabled, and L3 cache memory is also there. It is 3 MB. The more cache memory, better performance of the CPU. Okay, better speed, better performance of a CPU. Okay, so virtualization is enabled means you can able to create a 64-bit virtual machine. You can run the 64-bit virtual machines in your physical machine. Okay, the virtualization part. Next, of course, different manufacturer of CPU, and there is a 32-bit, 64-bit difference is there. So guys, look at here. What is a 32-bit? So when you are checking your CPU model, so you can see here it is your CPU model. So note down the CPU model, search on the Google, then you will find intel.com information about the processor from intel.com only. Okay, ark.intel.com kind of stuff it shows. Search, and there you can find what is a instruction set. Instruction set means, so when I'm giving instruction to a CPU understand what to do or what is functioning by instruction set only. Okay, by instruction set only. What is instruction set? It is very simple what to do, like a plus b is an instruction, right? Plus is an instruction, a plus b is a instruction, and data. So a value, b value, data. Okay, function is additional function. So that is the instruction we are giving to the processor. So the length of that instruction is 32-bit in 32-bit processor, 64-bit in a 64-bit processor. The length will be changes. So 32-bit operating system don't work in 64-bit. 64-bit OS won't work in a 32-bit CPU. Applications 32-bit application, it's a little difficult on a 64-bit. 64-bit application never works on a 32-bit. Device drivers also we have to make sure that both the architecture matches. Okay, already these are all we discussed about how 32-bit is there, how 64-bit is there. Okay, guys, compulsory your processor is 32-bit. Follow device drivers, applications, and operating system also. Okay, whatever your system architecture, follow the same architecture for your operating system, your drivers, and your applications also. For application, it is a little bit either or there is there, but remaining is not there. If you are using a 64-bit processor, why I type processor? It's a processor, not process. Okay, so multi-core processor is possible. UEFI support is there. It is a update version of BIOS. Secure board because of UEFI. So device drivers digital signature enforcement. Okay, virtualization technology is possible. It is simply say virtualization technology means I have a laptop. On my laptop is a single physical machine. I can run multiple virtual machines on it. I can run multiple virtual machines in a single physical machine. Multiple guest operating systems. Multiple virtual machine means each machine having an operating system. So obviously multiple guest operating systems I can able to run. Okay. So here it is a simple way to say it is. These are the 64-bit processor features. So compared to 32-bit, 32-bit processor don't get a UEFI. Multi-core processor is there, that is up to dual core, core to geo volt type processor. But if you take i3 processor, i5 processor, i7 processor, so these are all multi-core processors with 64-bit only. Okay, of course, additional RAM is required. 32-bit RAM size is different, 64-bit RAM are so the little more RAM requirement, more processing requirement is there compared to 32-bit. Very complex instructions we can able to execute because size of the instruction is high, so we can execute the very complex instructions. That is possible. Yeah, we are also discuss about a RAM and ROM, guys. Random access memory, read-only memory. Okay, RAM is a volatile memory, ROM is a non-volatile memory. What is meaning of volatile memory? When power is off, the data will be lost. What are the data stored in the RAM? We will lose. Okay. Next, even if your power is off, data is still available. So data is won't last by power off. Next, can changeable. Yes, we can remove the RAM and can able to reinsert the RAM again. ROM we cannot able to remove the ROM chip and replace with a new one. Like you can go buy a one ROM and put it. It is not possible for a computer system. Okay, regular what are the computer you are using? So you go and buy one ROM chip and fix it. That is not there. It's a fixed chip on the motherboard. It's a fixed chip on motherboard. Okay, so that is a RAM and ROM. And in a RAM, there is a two type of RAMs are there. So it is a primary storage memory or a main memory. You can call this one as a primary memory or a primary storage. And it is a main memory. It is a main memory. So when you say main memory, total memory, so this is RAM only. Okay. So volatile memory. In a RAM, two type of RAM, static RAM, dynamic RAM. SRAM, DRAM. Okay. So SRAM is pure form of transistor. It is little costlier than a DRAM. So SRAM not used for a regular RAM purpose. We are using this one as a cache memory. Okay, the cache memory. Already I showed yesterday diagram. You can see this is the CPU. CPU, inside a CPU only cache memory is there. And I said when I started this topic again, this is a block diagram, traditional block diagram of computer for understanding function of computer. But originally it is like this. You have a I/O controllers. These I/O controllers are connected. Don't worry how I got a color because of because of I created this PPT in the Microsoft PPT only. Okay, and I uploaded into Google. Okay, so from Google it is very easy to share. Anybody can easily open. Okay, actually point is this is look at here guys. This I/O controller connected to your I/O devices. I/O controllers are connected to I/O devices. Okay, input devices, output devices, like that. Okay, for example, I have a keyboard. Keyboard is connected to motherboard and it is goes to I/O controller only. Okay, a monitor is connected to your motherboard. Yeah, tell me. My mind has become very slow, and one more. Rajesh also came. Okay, guys. So your input devices or can be output device. It can be your input device, like it can be a keyboard. Or it can be your output device, like a monitor or a speaker. Anything you can tell. Okay, so both are connected. Both are connected to the I/O controller only. Both are connected to the I/O controller only. Like a through motherboard, it is I/O controller. So I/O controller understand from where I am getting the instruction or a data, and where how to put this data to a monitor or a speaker or maybe a printer, or is the data I want to I am getting from the storage like a hard disk, or I have to save the data into the hard disk. Okay, so that is will be given as per the instruction of your processor. As per the instruction of your processor. Okay, so it will give it to I/O controller. So the I/O controller will give it to the devices, or it will take it from the devices and give it to your processor. So this is the connection, guys. This is the connection. So CPU to RAM, RAM to CPU communication is there. CPU never interact with your I/O devices directly. As per this diagram, okay, CPU never, CPU is taking information from input and give output to the output devices. Okay, but in a reality, it is not like that. So where it is? Somewhere I have written. Yes, here it is. CPU is communicate with RAM. RAM is communicating with the CPU. RAM loads the data and instructions from the I/O controller. I/O controller will connect to the IO devices. All devices are communicating to CPU through the IO controller, RAM, like that. So this cache memory sits between CPU and RAM. So what is the use of this cache memory, guys? I whether usually I don't watch cricket, so but still I'm trying to tell a example from the cricket only. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, pitch is there, and there is a batsman, right? There's a batsman with a big bat, bowler bowl, ball, and he hit the ball, right? The ball went some distance, and there is a guy finally found the ball. Meanwhile, this guy is going for a run. Another guy is also on the way to meet this one, right? So he's going to this direction, he's going to this direction. If this guy found the ball and he want to take the wicket from here, okay, what he will do it? He will try to throw the ball at a wicket, but in reality, it is not that one. So he will throw to this ball to the person who is near to the wicket. Okay, this ball, this guy will throw the ball who is near or very near to this wickets. He will throw it because he is a human. It is a target. So he can bend a little bit and he can catch the ball and he will hit the wicket. So it is become accurate hit. It matches the speed. So one more example I will tell. If you go to see any constructions, building constructions, house construction, small house construction, not talking about very big buildings, small house construction, house constructions. Okay, so you know, people are trying to throw a brick like he is in a first floor. This is a guy, is in a first floor, is a guy in a ground floor. You know, sometimes they will carry the bricks, sometimes they will throw the bricks. I've seen how people are throwing a bricks. Okay, it's a continuously will throw the bricks. You will cast a brick continuously. Their speed must be matches. Like a throwing speed and catching speed must be matches. Otherwise, it will be danger. Okay, if this guy is slow, if this guy is throw the very fastly, it will be catch miss. Something will be damaged. He is very fast and waiting is very slow, and that is also sometimes very danger. The sequence will be mismatches. So CPU is a extremely fast. RAM is not that extremely fast device. That much speed. So RAM and CPU are a comparison. CPU, if you go to my CPU is a 2.6 gigahertz processor, but my RAM is 1600 megahertz, means 1.6 giga. 1.6. This is 2.6. Both are different speeds, but how the speed should be matches. That's why catch is involved here as a front side bus. Okay, the catch involves here. The catch is trying to match the speed. So to make it much speeder and more accurate instructions to the CPU, catchy load the instructions and data from RAM to catchy and catchy to CPU and CPU to catchy to RAM. So it will speed up the process. It does not make your CPU ideal. Okay, not slower. Okay, it matches the speed with the CPU to RAM speed. Okay, the better the cache memory, so better performance of CPU. That's why it is like that. So this is the main block diagram, guys. CPU, cache memory, RAM. Okay, so who will control this? The communication between RAM and CPU is north bridge. RAM to IO controllers by south bridge. So there is a north bridge and south bridge is also there, but in generally we are not talking in that manner. But because it's not a core hardcore hardware class, okay, there is a chipset of a computer whenever you check it. This is a north bridge, this is south bridge. This is also chip which make a communication, which controls the communication between RAM and CPU. The south bridges will take care of communication of this IO controllers, input output devices, all peripherals things. Okay. I'm removing that one, so it is no problem. Guys, I'm going back again. Okay, that is a cache memory. So compulsory cache memory, check it. Next is in a RAM. So we have a dynamic RAM. So it is a DRAM. The dynamic RAM, we call it as a DRAM, which is cheaper than SRAM. So we can use the DRAM as per our requirement. SDRAM. DRAM is for the development to SDRAM or different models. It is there in DRAM. SDRAM is there. ECC RAM, EDO RAM, VRAM, like that. VRAM means video RAM, graphic card type. Okay. So this SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM, further developed into DDR RAM. So DDR SDRAM. So then this DDR SDRAM, next version is DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5 is also there in the market, but it is supported 12th generation of Intel i3, i5, i7. So in a 12th generation also there is a 2-3 variation is there. Please check it. Okay, so when you are purchasing a RAM, so compulsory, what is the RAM specification? Size of the RAM is very important. We are taking, right? So RAM size 12 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM are there, right? So then size of the RAM, speed of the RAM, so it is 1600 megahertz speed of the RAM. The speed must be matches when you are upgrading or adding additional RAM. Okay, voltage levels also important. Next, you want to upgrade the RAM or you want to replace the RAM. These things are you have to think. First of all, understand what is your CPU model. Based on the CPU model, so you have to go to which RAM is better. For example, I want to purchase this processor. Next, I want to purchase a RAM. So before going to purchase a RAM, so what are the things? For example, yeah, I'll go to this. This is a Intel processor 10th generation G6405 model. So can you see it is a 4 MB cache memory is also there. LGA 1200 socket. So based on this socket is so based on this socket number, I have to choose the motherboard. I have to choose the motherboard. I have to choose the RAM. Okay. So when I'm choosing the RAM, so I have to check it. So it's a number of cores, 2 cores, 4 threads of it. Okay, it's look like a better one, but what I'm trying to say is I'm selecting this Intel Pentium Gold G6405. It is a dual core processor, of course, but it is look like a little better because it's a 2 core 4 threads. It is almost like a i3 processor, basic i3 processor, and it is a built-in graphics also. Very good. It is not that one. This is Amazon.com, but you can see ERK Intel.com. So go to Intel.com website. Just I'm trying to show you an example. When you see a processor model, okay, so and you get the information. So what are the information I have seen? Number of cores, number of threads I have seen. Okay, how much cache it is. So what generation? What is the CPU socket? And here you can see number of cores, number of threads. Okay, that is the correct information given by there. Maximum number of RAM size, RAM model. So DDR4 26266 model. This is a suitable RAM for this particular processor, and we are getting 610 UHD graphics. The basic graphics we are getting. And one more thing, as I said, it is check the Intel virtualization is yes or no. Yes, Intel virtualization feature is also there. Of course, you can search other information also. What is the cache memory? What is processor speed? What is the wattage consumption? What type of model it is, like this. Okay, so CPU support up to 128 GB RAM and DDR4 to 666 model. Okay, if you check it like this, you can see this is RAM automatic suggestion is there now. So I'm going with the automatic suggestion on. So this is the RAM. Okay, so this is the RAM. It is showing here. So, and when you see this RAM, look at here, 2666 means 2666 megahertz RAM, 1.2 volts DDR4 RAM. It is 8 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM. Okay, so different RAMs are there, but it is like if you want to search this type of memory, also you can try. So a lot of RAM suggestions also there. You can try any of these RAMs. Okay, so here it is a 8 GB. This type of RAM is cost is little higher, but this type, normal RAMs 8 GB is good. As I've seen some YouTube reviews and all, their suggestion is also good. Why? Because it's you can better to buy multiple RAMs, like RAM number of RAM slots. Based on that, you have to split. For example, you want a 16 GB RAM instead of 16 GB RAM, so you can buy two 8 GB RAMs. Okay, that is a suggestion. I don't know that's exactly really it is works like that. Okay, so depends upon your budget. You can buy a RAM. Okay, that is important, guys. Yeah, my PPT is here, not here. Okay, so when you are replace or upgrade a RAM, this is also troubleshooting thing, right? So you want to replace a RAM is not working, or you want to add some more RAM. You have to go through CPU specifications and check the support of size, speed, and memory type, like DDR4, DDR3, DDR5. What is their speed requirement? What is the size, maximum size support? And also important is about your motherboard. So same, I'm going here. So here it is motherboard. It is some motherboard. It is showing. See, this is the motherboard. Can you see two RAM slots are there? You can see the two RAM slots which is suitable for a DDR4, and it is LJ1200 model support. It is okay. Two RAM slots are there. This black all are black only. So but this is the two RAM slots are there. Okay, so number of RAM slots and supporting memory types, voltage levels, different voltage level, and I showed one RAM, right? So this is the RAM voltage level is 1.2 volts only. So compulsory check the cross verify the voltage levels. And when you are adding, if you are adding or upgrading RAM or replacing RAM, check with the old RAM. You are building a new PC, then you may go with the suggestions kind of stuff or a matches some Google search. Okay, but you are already having a system, you want to replace the RAM, you want to upgrade the RAM, or you want to add additional RAM, like you are already having 4 GB RAM, you want to add a 8 GB RAM. What it is, check the old RAM, or you are replacing already there is a 4 GB RAM is there, it is not working now, you want to replace with a new RAM. So check the old RAM, go through the old RAM specifications, follow that old RAM specifications only, because you use that RAM for more than 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Now RAM is not working. So earlier it is working, now not working because of its hardware related issue of RAM related issues. Okay, not mismatch issues, not because of mismatch. So it is matches, it is working. Now you want to replace it. So how to do it? Better to go with the specifications of old RAM. So purchase based on that one only. Purchase based on even myself. I have a laptop with a 4 GB RAM. Right? This laptop came with a 4 GB RAM. I added a 8 GB RAM. I added a just 8 GB RAM. I inserted it. So how I inserted? First of all, I have opened a cabinet backside door, backside part of this laptop, and take a picture of the RAM, and I showed that RAM to picture to the technician guy. So go through that specification. Even I searched some little Google search about RAM related information, because it not does not show all the information. It is shows only few information. The PC values, the voltage values, and all. I checked it. What is this RAM model? Sometimes some people, even including me, try to match with the company. Okay, Samsung. Okay, like that. Okay, so crucial. Okay, so A data. Okay, like that. Some people try to match the company also, or it is their wish. But important guys, compulsory match their frequencies, match their models. So obviously, no need to do a lot of such. If you are having a old model, old RAM. Why? Because old RAM is tell you what is the RAM model it is, RAM frequency, voltage levels it will tell. So you can easily get the new RAM. Okay, even for upgradation also that is very helpful. Okay, this is a different RAM packages are guys. There is a RAM packages are look like this, right? This side. Okay, DDR. Sorry, deep packages are very older one. So next one is SIM packages are came, single memory inline memory module, single inline memory modules are there. That is old days. But later we are all using a RIM or a DIM. RIM or DIM we are all using for a desktop purpose. Desktop dual inline memory module or a Rambus inline memory module. For laptops and mini PCs we are using a SODIMM packages. SODIMM packages. For laptops we are using a SODIMM packages. So this is a regular RAM. This is SODIMM package. This is used for a this is also a RAM, but it is for a laptops or a mini PCs. This is for a mini PCs. It's look like a the smaller the size. Okay. So this is the PC4 2130 PC value. It is the PC value also indicates frequency of the RAM. Okay, and voltage level it is showing here. This is not RAM, that is SSD. Okay, so SODIMM packages. SODIMM packages. This type of RAM is DIMM. This is SODIMM. That's the difference. Okay, cache memory, and this is ROM. Next one is ROM. So I will tell about a ROM, then I will give you a break, guys. Okay, so small break I will give you. Already I told all these things yesterday. Just it's a revision, last class revision. Okay. So what is a ROM? Read-only memory. So it is permanent memory, non-volatile memory. It is a form of chip. So once it is written, cannot be replaced. But the ROM is further developed into a different ROM chip scheme that is called a programmable read-only memory. By manufacture of the ROM, we'll put instructions inside when it is manufactured. But PROM is not like that. PROM is a empty chip. You have to program once. Once you're done a program, you cannot able to remove or replace the program inside. It is a once you program, you cannot able to replace. Like a CD-ROM. CD-ROM, DVD-ROM means once you put a data inside, you cannot able to replace or remove it. Then erasable programmable memory came. What is erasable? So we can remove the program. Once you are put a program inside, something goes wrong, you can remove it, but you cannot replace it. That's why EPROMs are came. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory means once you program it, you can reprogram it if in case, but only for a few times only, like 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, like that. There is a very limited number of rewriting part. So very simply say EPROMs are rewritable. What are we are using EPROMs only. So this EPROMs contains a firmware. The program inside of this EPROM is nothing but a firmware. What is this firmware? Firmware is a information and function about your system. About your system. The firmware is available in every device. Every device like a printer, scanner, mobiles, future mobiles, like a old mobiles, your mouse, keyboards, every device having a firmware. What is this firmware? It is when you power on your device, when you power on the device, how to power on, how to check the device status, how to check the device status. Okay, how to do the first work before a user giving instruction when it is power on, what to do, what to respond when it is get the power. Okay, that is decided by firmware. I have a one I purchased one market only. It is I save some money in my engineering. That time, of course, now or that time there is no difference. That time I'm very poor. Now I'm a little poor only. Okay, not much very poor. Okay, earlier very poor. So I save some small money, like a 50 rupees, 100 rupees, like that. Okay, so it's a device which is actually audio device type. Okay, audio and small video, very small screen, like a mobile phone screen. Small mobile phones are there, very old days. So that much screen only, color screen, and it is mainly audio purpose. It is there. Yeah, one day I got some problem. So because I can't able to put any files inside, I can able to delete, but I can't able to put it. So one guy taken it and show to one of my student is that time after engineering also it is working. It is worked almost more than 3-4 years. So one day one of my student only that time. So he told some thing like he asked someone and he given some suggestion and all, not worked. And when I'm teaching this hardware that is also first time about a firmware and all, so we got some questions and about a firmware updates. I check this firmware update for that machine. Luckily there is an option called a firmware update, so I tried it and it is worked fine. Okay guys, point is, what is this firmware? When you power on your system, so the firmware will tell you how to turn on your computer or a device, the sequence of thing, and verifying all devices functioning right or not. Okay, all the parts of a device working fine, okay, and functioning correctly, and how to turn on all these things kind of stuff will be divided by tell by firmware. Okay, so your BIOS, the name is a BIOS for a firmware in our computer. This BIOS is further developed into UEFI. So you are purchasing any new laptop or a desktop, you'll get a UEFI firmwares, not BIOS firmwares, or a mixer of this one. BIOS and UEFI mixer are mostly UEFI only you are getting. So UEFI is not a new one, it is a older BIOS only, but few features are there in UEFI. Few features are there in a UEFI. Okay, so unified extensible framework. So what is this BIOS? Perform boot up, performance in post, power on self test. when you turn on your computer, system will test itself whether all the devices are working or not. All primary devices are working or not, and gather the device information, recognize hardware devices. Okay, locate and loads operating system. Where is operating system? It locates and load operating system into system. Okay, it helps operating system to access the hardware devices. Hardware operating system does not know what are the devices in your computer, but this will tell you to the operating system these devices are there, so it will help you to work with that hardware. So this is called a BIOS, guys. Okay, yeah, that's it for now. Just take a break, guys. 10-15 minutes. I will be back as of my stomach is not okay. So these are all yesterday discussions.